Recording. All right, all right, all right. Once again, I want to say welcome to Social D Theater with Hassan El-Amin and friends. And I am fortunate enough, blessed enough, honored enough to have with me Christie Vela.
Yay!
Hey, Christie.
Hi, Hassan.
Yeah, just to give some little background, Christie and I were founding company members for the Diane and Hal Briley resident acting company at the Tony Award winning Dallas. Get it all in.
Getting it all in.
That's right. We shared the stage. What's some of the stuff we shared the stage in?
We played a married couple in God of Carnage.
Yes.
Which was so much fun. Oh my gosh, that play was so much fun.
Oh yeah.
And I used to love, I just loved because our marriage, our relationship in that show was very intense. Like they were at odds with each other. And it was so much fun being on stage with you and playing those moments of like just really fighting. It was so much fun.
Yes.
But you also played that the very first play we did together was In the Beginning.
Oh, that's right.
And you also played, like very briefly, my husband in that play.
That's right.
Me and Sally were married to you.
That's right. I had two wives.
I just laugh and laugh at that scene. It was so funny.
Yes. Yes.
We also did the first Christmas Carol that I directed at Dallas Theater Center. You played Scrooge for the first time also.
I would say there was something really that production was magical.
Yeah, it was, it was one of those, it was the first time I directed it. It was the first time you played it.
Yes.
And it wasn't easy. There were moments that were difficult in that show, but just like everything that you have to go through that's difficult, the result was really beautiful.
Yes, I remember a moment when I guess the kids weren't there, and I was on stage acting like the kids were there, and you was like, "Why are you playing around?" I was like,
I know. I remember that too. But it all turned out.
I told you, I got you. I was like, Christie, I got you.
Yes. It all turned out. It was so beautiful.
Yes.
That was a beautiful show.
So now you left around the same time we both our tenure at the Dallas Theater Center was over. And when it happened, there was some upset. I know I was about it and everything. But on the outside looking in, I look at your career and it looks like it has just exploded.
Thank goodness. Yes.
Yeah. So my question to you again is I'm on the outside watching. You're actually living the experience. So whatever that impact was on the moment of being told that, oh, you're not coming back to DTC as an acting company member, and now you got to jump out and do something else. How did you feel, and what has been your experience of being inside of your journey?
It was really scary. It was scary to come to that decision, to not be in the company anymore, and kind of just fly the coop, And my final year at the theater center had been spent mostly directing. I'd been given the opportunity to direct A Christmas Carol, and Kevin had given me an opportunity to direct like other little things. And when he said, you're not going to be in the company next season, but I want you to come back and direct the world premiere of Gloria by Brandon Jacobs Jenkins, I was floored. So it was like in one fell swoop, it was like, you're no longer in the company, but also I want you to direct this really important play that's only ever had one production ever. Wow. And, and you're the person to do it here. And I thought, oh my gosh. And it was really, I had been thinking for a long time about, venturing into directing. And it was the moment where I said, okay, now's the time to put my money where my mouth is and see if I can do this at the next level. Because I had directed before But for small professional theaters, I had never directed at like a huge Lort theater.
Right.
And it was wonderful. And it felt like, yes. Like after that experience, it felt like, yeah, this is what I should be doing. And as soon as I left, I didn't know what was going to happen. It was really scary. But as soon as I left the theater center, I started getting offers left and right to come direct places. And I owe a lot of that to Kevin. Kevin was a big supporter. Like I'm going to be honest, I was mad and I was hurt that I was not coming back to the company. But on the other side, it was the push I needed. For whatever reason it happened, it was the push I needed. And you got to look at those things like that, or you're just going to be bitter for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. And like soon after that, Trinity Rep came and asked me if I wanted to direct Native Gardens up there. And, you know, I've been getting offers, you know, and thankfully I've been able to make my living this way. I'm still acting, but I'm mostly directing now.
That was going to be my question, because I know, are you a founding member of Kitchen Dog?
I'm not a founding member, okay, but I am a company member. But I've been so busy directing at other places that I haven't had a chance to get back on stage at Kitchen Dog. And now I'm the associate artistic director at Theater 3.
I saw that. When did that happen?
Yeah.
When did that take place?
I'm sorry?
When did you become the associate artistic director at Theater 3?
This is my first season. This is my first season, like my first full season doing that. And so this next season, if it happens, you know, because we're all in that position,
right,
will be like the first season that I helped to put together.
Nice. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, Christie. As a woman, I say a woman of color, my Latina sister.
Yes.
The part of that, because I you know, I'm one of your followers on Twitter and on Facebook, and you're very outspoken in positions that concern this world, that stuff that we endure and deal with. So you as a woman of color, you as this new director who has been rocketed off since 2016, even though the doors are opening, what have been some of the obstacles you've had to endure with that? Carrying your womanhood, carrying your Latina with you where you go.
You know, the some of the obstacles are, you know, people assume that, for example, let me give you an anecdotal example. A few years ago, I directed Titus Andronicus for a large company. And one of the board members, it was successful, everybody loved it. And one of the board members made a comment to me. It was like they thought it was a compliment, you know. Made a comment about, it had to do with like, wow, you as a Latina woman, like you're really good at Shakespeare, you know. And people sometimes don't know how those things land on you as a person of color, right? You go like, so because I'm Mexican American, I'm not supposed to, you're surprised that I can direct Shakespeare? Like, that's crazy. So the assumption made by people that you're only able to direct certain stories.
Yes.
You know, and I think the problem right now, it's changing, but the problem right now, and the problem historically, has been that there are no people of color in the room making decisions about what shows people of color could be directing.
Yes.
Right? Yes. So assumptions are made about like, well, you know, we're going to do this play by a Latin American playwright. We need a Latin American director. We're going to do Pride and Prejudice adapted by whomever, by Jane Austen. Right. That, you know, that's not the person. We shouldn't hire a Latin American person to direct that, because that's not the Latin American play. I'm like, but why can't I just direct anything I want to?
Yes.
Whatever I do, no matter what it is, whether it's Shakespeare, whether it's Octavio Solis, whether it's Chekhov, whether it's Lynn Nottage, whatever I do, it's going to automatically have a Latin American perspective to it because I'm Latin American, right?
Yes.
I bring that to myself. No matter what I do, I'm representing always.
Yes.
You know, and when I'm on stage, you as Scrooge, you're playing Scrooge, but you are always representing your culture and your people.
Absolutely.
And me as Mrs. Cratchit, I'm never not going to be Latin American.
Absolutely.
So why should I limit myself? You know, and it seems to me that sometimes the people in charge don't realize that, you know, and yeah. So another example, I recently directed a play called What We Were, and my cast, it's about a family of sisters in Texas, and they're white. There was 3 white sisters, and my entire production company. So it was me directing. John Flores, my husband, was the sound designer. Dalia Al-Habieli, who is Saudi Arabian, was my set designer. My entire design crew was people of color, and still other people were like, "Oh, it's a white play," and I'm like, "Yeah, like why do you have to categorize it that way? And why don't you see that we're in charge of the narrative now? Like the entire design team were people of color."
Yes.
And that's a flip, you know. For once, it's not white people telling stories about people of color, but it was people of color telling a story about a white family. You know what I mean? That's a power shift.
Yes, it is. Absolutely.
And that's also important.
As a woman, though, are you seeing a lot of other female directors really out? I know you're in the Dallas area, but your rocket seems to be expanding out.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you're now the associate artistic director, which seems like it's going to have to keep you at home some. But
a little bit.
Broader scale, out more, are you encountering that there are a lot of female directors who are getting the job?
Yes.
Good.
Yes, I am, and it's that's really fantastic. As a matter of fact, what I hear from my male friends, white male friends, are like, "It's hard to get a job," and I'm like, "Welcome to my world.
Welcome to the club." Yeah.
Welcome to the club." Like they, you know, and it's, you know, whatever it is. It's unfortunate for them right now, but it's like, don't come complain to me. I'm sorry, because yeah, it is hard.
So let me ask you this: even though, you know, are you looking at, like you directed at Trinity Rep? Are you looking at, you know, directing in California, New York, or because you're now home based in Dallas, you've been a theater maker there for a long time? Is your place where you just plan, Dallas is it?
Oh no, absolutely not. If I have the opportunity to go other places, I absolutely will. I mean, when I say that I've been blessed these past few years, I really have been. I've had to turn down opportunities in places because I've already got gigs somewhere else. I was offered Little Women at the Old Globe in San Diego.
Wow.
And couldn't do it. I was just offered Angels in America at Pittsburgh Playhouse, and then the pandemic happened.
Yes.
And that was gone, you know? So it seems as like just as stuff starts happening, you know, and sometimes I when I've been offered stuff at great places like that, and I already have made commitments to other theaters, I just have to hope that those opportunities, I can only do what I think is right and meet my commitments, right? And just keep hoping that my reputation as a director and as a good person in the room to work with will continue to precede me, and those opportunities will continue to come.
That's integrity. That's integrity.
Yes.
Yeah. It's not about, oh, this might be something better. No, it's about, my word is given here and I'm going to honor my word.
You know, a lot of people don't see it that way, Hassan, but it's like, that's how I see it. I'm like, I gave my word, and I said I would do it, and this is a special thing, you know, and I can't go back on my word.
Well, Christy, I have to tell you again, on the outside looking in, I was there when the whole thing at DTC happened. We all had some emotional feelings about it. We thought it was wrong. But in hindsight, Kevin Moriarty was right.
He was right. He
Yes.
was right. And I have to tell you, he has been my champion ever since it happened. He has done everything in his power to help me get ahead. And he's been somebody that I can actually go to and say, what do you think I should do? You know, and he's always honest, and he always, you know, even when I'm asking about like, hey, I've been given this opportunity, which means that I can't direct a theater center or whatever, he'll say, you have to do what's best for you, but let me help you weigh which one is better. So you know, those things are hard. Sometimes it's growing pains, you know?
Yeah.
And, yeah, I'm really thankful, but I do remember all of y'all were in Houston when it happened.
Exactly.
You guys were in Houston doing All the Way, which was incredible.
Yes.
And, I think me and Liz were the only ones that were not, or me and Liz and Sally were the
Yeah.
only ones that were not in Houston.
Yeah. You weren't in that production. Yes.
Right. And I remember like everything just kind of like the blank hitting the fan.
Yes, exactly.
And I felt like, I have to tell you, I felt really supported. You know, when I heard, I think Stephen Walters called me and said, oh my God, everybody lost their mind. And I felt really supported. I felt like, oh, see, they're my family. It's my family.
Did this together. Yes. Yeah, we walked in the door in 2000, what, 2007, 2008?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when we started. We were the founding company members, and we were all together. So no, my sister was being hurt. Ain't nobody gonna hurt my sister. So let me ask you, Christy, you know, I'm sure you get this question. If you were gonna give words of encouragement to an up and coming young woman who wants to aspire to direct or act and do some of the things and follow in the path of Christie Vela, what would be some of your words of encouragement?
I would say the first and foremost to me is to behave in the room like the person that you want to work with, right? Always show up on time, know your words, right? Don't show up with an attitude that you're smarter than everybody, right? Always be open to learning. Realize that you are in a room with people who have been doing this much longer than you have, and you should step back and try to absorb as much from them as possible. Also, don't be afraid to speak your mind. You know, if something is happening that you don't like, or that makes you uncomfortable, or you know, or even if it's just about what's going on in the play, speak up and don't apologize for taking up space in the room. You are doing your job. So don't apologize, take up space in the room, be vocal, and always be learning, and always be on time, and always know your words, and be in the room. Be present in the room, and people will notice that. Don't come in and try to be a flash or like a hot dog, because people will be like, I don't want to work with that person again. Yeah. Do your work. Yeah. Do your work.
That's good. That's good. Well, I'm thankful that you joined me here on Social D Theater. Again, this is Miss Christie Vela, who is now, I know you still act, but really as I watch, I see you as a director taking off. I mean, all over the place. I'm like, just amazing. I see that you are now the new Associate Artistic Director at Theater 3. So I know that there are big things in store. And even though we were upset and disappointed in the moment, it was a good moment launching you to another level of your career. So I'm happy for you. I'm proud of you.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. I love you, my brother. I love you so much.
You know I do. Thank you for joining me here. Oh, one last. Are you still working with Booker T?
This is my last year. Yeah, I mean, it was just one of those things where I had been teaching 3 classes at Booker T. to advanced acting to seniors and the acting portion of the musical theater track. And I had to keep cutting back. And this year was just, with all the other work,
Yes.
I wasn't giving my best self to the kids.
Okay.
So I decided it was time to move on from Booker T, and hopefully I can come back at some point, but give someone else a chance to come in and be with those wonderful, wonderful kids.
Yeah, that was a great experience for me as well, being able to work with them over at Booker T. Washington High School. Quite an experience.
Yep.
Well, Ms. Vela, I love you. I love you. Thank you for joining me here on Social D Theater with Hassan and El-Amin and friends. And you are definitely my sister. I love you.
Yay! I love you too. Bye.